done a video outside, you might have noticed that I was being completely swarmed by gnats. Now, I didn't treat this side as well as I treated that side, I think. So, and I've been using my essential oil spray that I use. I make this spray out of doTERRA essential oils that I use it for keeping bugs off me. I use it as a refresher if I'm hot during the day. I use it for my armpits because you know, it's all natural deodorizer. And wherever I need some deodorization. And it wasn't working for these gnats. And I was really confused. And I thought, why is it not working? Well, my bottle is getting low. Of course, I'm still using it because I use it for other things than just bugs. My bottle was starting to get low, so I thought I was going to refill it. Pulled out my oils and started filling it up, and I thought, I didn't put any tea tree oil in it the last time. So apparently the tea tree oil, for these gnats particularly, is the key. So here's my bottle. And the gnats are very aggressive, so every so often I'm kind of beefing it up a little bit. And I not only, oh, this noise. Not only did I spray myself, my clothing, I sprayed my chair, I sprayed the cloth on the picnic table. I hung up these towels hanging. I put 2 on each side of my dining enclosure here, and I sprayed them. So I'm trying to create a whole, you know, enclosure where the gnats don't want to go. And they are very aggressive, very, very swarmy. And so it's funny because I sat here, before I started making the video, I didn't immediately go, oh look, I did it, and make the video. I sat here for a good 30 minutes, whereas normally I wouldn't be able to even, I mean, you can walk outside and you think you're safe, and then they like smell that you're here, and whew, they start to swarm. And I don't know if you can see them, but they are like swarming around me, and then they like get close and then they back off. So they're there, they're very aggressive, they're all over the place, and they're there, but they're not getting in my eyeballs anymore. And I can sit here. So it was the tea tree oil that I missed. So I'm going to tell you what I put in it, to the best of my knowledge, because I don't know if you've noticed from my recipes, I'm not an exact measurement kind of a person. But I have the, for my tea tree oil, I don't have pure tea tree oil from doTERRA. I mean, it is doTERRA, but what I have is the roller ball, which is tea tree oil mixed with fractionated coconut oil. And I'm not sure what the mixture ratio is on that. But I had, the roller ball is about that big, and I had about that much left in the bottle. And knowing that it was mixed, I went ahead and I poured the whole thing in here. And then just pop the top off and you can pour it out. Then I had, I put in 25 drops of pure lemongrass oil and 25 drops of pure eucalyptus oil, and 25 drops of pure peppermint oil. And I know the gnats don't care about the peppermint, but spiders don't like peppermint, and I don't like spiders, so. Plus it makes it nice and cooling. The peppermint, when you put the peppermint, spray the peppermint on your skin like that, you get that cooling effect, so it's great for the summer. The lemongrass is pleasant and lemony smelling without being too, you know, lemon. And the eucalyptus, it's a little strong, but I mean, it's you're trying to keep bugs off, right? And the tea tree oil, it smells like pine. Tea tree is a melaleuca. It's a, all right, there they come, right in my face. The tea tree, it's a pine tree. It's a pine tree in Australia. And so it's interesting that, I mean, we're all familiar with pine sol. And so yeah, tea tree oil is just like another variety of a pine. And it's interesting because in Australia, I learned this because I used to do melaleuca before I learned that that's not the only important essential oil. And in Australia, the melaleuca trees, or the tea tree oil trees, they line, I can't remember now if it's a river or a pond, and their needles fall into the water. And they thought that the water was magic for many years, the Aborigines. They thought it was the magic water, but it turns out it's the oil from the tree. And it keeps away bugs, it's a natural antibiotic. I mean, essential oils are amazing. If you know anything about essential oils or melaleuca or doTERRA, then you know. But anyway, so that's my recipe. But that's not all. Okay, because you can see that's a giant bottle of stuff, so what the heck else is in there? Okay, so then I put in about this much to this top of this bubble here of apple cider vinegar. And then I put in about half of the next bubble, maybe not quite that much, of rubbing alcohol. And the reason I put that in there is because I'm using it under my armpits for, deodorizing and whatnot, and killing that bacteria is instrumental in getting rid of odor. And as you sweat throughout the day and your arms are down, it gets icky under there. So that kills all that bacteria. And then just fill it up the rest of the way with water. And so that's why it's got that weird yellowy color that you can see even through the pink. And you can see, if you look really close, I'm not sure if you can see it in the video, but you can see little bits of the mother in there because that's the Bragg's apple cider vinegar with the mother in it. And that's what I use. And it's really, apple cider vinegar is really good for your skin. It's really good for your parts and pieces because it will eliminate any yeast overgrowth. And on the surface, it's not an internal thing, but on the surface, it just kind of helps control all of those things. Itching, any kind of itching or whatever, you can take care of that way. And so yeah, that's my tip for this video. You can see they're still bothering me a little bit. I kind of want to keep spraying because these are the most aggressive bugs I ever saw anywhere. When I went to do my laundry is when I found out what they were called. They're called buffalo gnats. And there was a warning posted in the laundromat about buffalo gnats, and it said that they were a problem. I guess they're an invasive species is probably the problem. And they were apparently, livestock can be killed by these buffalo gnats, and so they're asking people if their livestock dies from the gnats, that they're to report it to the wildlife game and fish or whatever, I think, so that I guess they can keep track or whatever. I don't know. But apparently it's a big problem in this area. And in fact, I'm not the only one complaining about it. My boss sat with me here at the table for a couple of 5 minutes last week, and apparently he's allergic, so they were biting him and he had big welts all over him. Now I am fortunate that most of the time bugs don't bite me. Most bugs don't bite me. They'll swarm me and they'll get all over me and try and get in my eyes and my nose and drive me nuts, but they usually don't bite me. Really the only thing that bites me is spiders. And ants, red ants, oh my God, they will bite the crap out of me. And once a year or so, when it's super, super hot and humid, the black flies, Sprigler black flies, start biting. You may have noticed this phenomenon once a year or whatever. And those things will bite the crap out of me. But this keeps them off. The only thing that I've never had so much trouble with is these gnats. They're just insane, these gnats. And see, the wind's blowing, and now they're gone, because gnats can't handle the wind. If I was to do this over again, you know, like have everything I wanted to have to be able to do this kind of a work camping job, I would have a partner. Male, female, doesn't matter, just to have a person. Someone else I can hang out with and talk to and help me with this stuff, because like I can't do, they're looking for a full-time person and I couldn't do this full-time because they want couples or 2 people, so that one person can be in the booth and the other person can be handling stuff in the park that needs to be handled. I mean, they're not always separated, but that's the deal. That way the booth never closes. And the other thing is that I would want a big fan. And I don't mean just a 10, although a box fan would be nice. I mean a big fan. I saw a camper over here, they had one of those big industrial fans. Not a huge, giant one, it's about this big. And I thought, that's what I need, because that will like create a real breeze. And no bug can keep up with that. You will have no bugs on you with that. Also, I would want my roof fixed. And a tarp, or not a tarp, I'm trying to say what's it called? The pull-out thing. An awning, yeah. And I would, that's kind of, if the roof doesn't leak, it's not even a big deal, right? It's a little thing. Of course, every place wouldn't have that. But the main thing is that I need another vehicle of some kind. An electric bike, or a moped, or a 3-wheeler, or something. Something. Oh, I'm looking at Belly. He has fallen asleep, but he's sitting up. He's not even he's only a year old. But I am going to have to show you this. Oh, right. Can you see him over there? He's sitting there. I know he's not just sitting there with his eyes closed because his head is cocked over to one side. Goofy cats. Anyway, so that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Peace. I'm Victoria.
I drink my coffee at the table. Nothing's there but me. Oh, from the